Ladies and gentlemen, I give you a roughly 45-minute podcast between Corey and Cody from Ballers on a Budget. I present to you the NFC North, finally. What's up, guys? This is Ballers on a Budget. I'm Cody. This is Corey. I wanted to channel my inner Bruce Buffer on that one for a minute. I had something brewing inside me, and I just had to let it out.
That sounds so gross.
Happens like once a week. But yeah, we're going NFC North right now. So we're going to cover the Bears, some Lions, probably the only good team on the division, Green Bay and Minnesota. But we're starting at the top, and we're going to start with the Chicago Bears per usual. Corey's got the not acquisitions.
Yeah.
And I'm coming at you with chiming in with the depth chart and some of the stats. So let's go ahead and get it started. Take us through the first move, Corey.
A lot of things happen with Chicago. Let's see. QB, helm of everything. Andy Dalton signs a 1-year, $10 million contract. I don't know how I feel about it. I like Dalton to a certain extent.
He's going to start 2 or 3 games tops, if any.
He's going to what?
He's going to start 2 or 3 games tops, if any. I mean, the red rifle doesn't have a long clip.
No, not at all. And then obviously, I know you're going to mention this in a little bit, but obviously they're going to throw Justin Fields out there and
for sure.
Take over the rest of the season.
They're going to use him. I don't see personally. I think they're going to move up to Justin Fields before the actual season starts. Maybe preseason, keep Andy Dalton in there just so as a backup, Justin Fields will get more playing time in preseason. I think that's what they might do. Him being the rookie and all, obviously. And then at the start of the season, they elevate him to the starter. That's just my personal thought. But they do have a third option as well.
I was just about to mention that. Big Daddy Nick Foles.
Big Dick Nick, a.k.a. Tripod. The third leg of this QB race right now.
I was going to say what you said, Big Dick Nick, but I did not know how that was going to feel coming out of my mouth. I'm glad you said it.
You sick son of a bitch.
That's funny.
They gone from Mitch, who had about 2,000 yards, going to Red Rifle, number 1 pick. Well, not a number 1, but first-round pick, very high. And then going with the Super Bowl champ like Nick Foles, who's been on rough waves. The Chicago Bears are still looking like they're going to have to rely on their defense. But let's get into the running backs. And the main running back for this squad had over 1,000 yards last year. And I'm talking about David Montgomery.
Good running back. I love watching him play. He's shifty, but he can move dudes out the way if he needs to. It says here. Okay, it doesn't say anything because my computer's slow.
Doesn't say anything. Doesn't need to upgrade your internet.
1,070 yards on 247 attempts, about 4.5 yards a carry.
Only 8 touchdowns, though. Not a lot of pay dirt. But compared to the rest of the running backs, there weren't any vultures either. So I think this was just purely the Bears just not being a good offensive team.
Yeah, and it says here that Tariq Cohen's out. Again, I take these inactives or whatever you want to call them with a grain of salt. It's preseason.
Yeah. He did catch 54 balls as well, 438 yards and 2 touchdowns there, so 10 touchdowns total. Roughly 1,500 all-purpose yards. And if you're playing in a PPR, it's an extra 54 points. That's a pretty damn good running back. He started 15 games. Well, played 15 games, my bad. So he stayed healthy, which is what you want. You want consistency.
Huge.
So
Absolutely.
as much as I don't like the Bears as a team, David Montgomery is a damn good running back, and he's personally high on my fantasy list. And that's saying something because I don't even want to give any hints away to you.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm stealing him. Yeah. But yeah, obviously he's going to be your starter. Like I said, second up, Tariq Cohen, listed as out as of right now, and they just signed Damian Williams to a 1-year deal. He will be the third back. But I do not want to gloss over Tariq Cohen either, if everything cooperates.
If he can stay healthy, he'll be a hell of a second back.
Yeah, so he ran, 14 attempts, 74 yards. Oh, maybe he is actually all fucked up. Only 74 yards in the regular season, 14 attempts.
How many games?
Six receptions. That's what I'm trying to find out. It does not say.
Yeah, I knew he was injured a lot last year. I knew that.
Yep. 3 games.
All right. Let's get out of here before I start getting hurt somewhere. At wide receiver, they got starting Allen Robinson, who was obviously their number 1 receiver with 1,250 yards. They don't really have anyone else to throw to. So, yeah, he's going to be the number 1. Their number 2 is actual Darnell Mooney.
Darnell.
My bad, yeah. Darnell Money or Mooney. I don't know.
It's Mooney.
I know which way I would pronounce it, though. I would pronounce it Money. But,
you be Daryl Money?
Daryl Money, boy. But he did have 61 catches as well, 631 yards and 4 touchdowns. Allen Robinson had 6. So not a whole lot of touchdowns going through the wide receivers. I do like to add Jimmy Graham. Had 8 of those touchdowns, all of them probably like from a 10 yards out. Because Jimmy Graham only had 50 catches for 456 yards. So he wasn't – it was an average of 9.1. So most tight ends don't average too high on the average yards. But, yeah, just Mitch under center wasn't able to make these wide receivers look better than what I think they can be, honestly. Like Allen Robinson has been consistent for years. If you put a good quarterback behind him, I think he's going to be really good.
I think Mooney can be a lot better with somebody who's got good accuracy.
I'm going to look at Mooney because I don't know how old he is. He was only drafted in 2020, so I knew he had to be young because the name didn't fucking catch right away. So yeah, he's young. He's only going to get better. Hopefully Justin Fields can take this team to 6-7 wins. Like I said, we got to get into the schedule, but yeah, 6-7 wins.
But yeah, let's jump over. I got some signings here for wide receiver while we're on the subject. Demir Byard, 1 year deal. Marquise Goodwin signed a 1-year deal. Justin Hardy, and I didn't mention this before, but Allen Robinson received the franchise tag and signed a 1-year tender.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Fancy.
He's going to want to try to go off in case his free agency comes up. Wants to look good for other teams. But starting at tight end, they got Cole Kmet, who was drafted in the second round. He was a rookie last year. Let me tab over to his stats. I
think he is completely underused. I don't mean to cut you off there.
Well, and I
figure out how to use this guy.
Last year he was the rookie. Jimmy Graham was coming in as the known bona fide giant-handed old Miami basketball player. Like, you knew if you're going to throw it up to him in the end zone, he's going to come down with it. So I could see them using Jimmy Graham over Cole Kmet for the first year. And rightfully on the depth chart, they do have him over Jimmy Graham currently. So
he's going to be fighting when Jesse James steps up because he just got signed too.
This tight end core, I actually really like the tight end core more than I like the wide receiver core.
Yeah, Jesse James is a big dude with good hands. And I'm not, trying to throw shade or anything to the refs, but it was a fucking catch, if you know what I'm saying. If you're a Steelers fan, you do.
I know exactly what you're saying. I was laughing the whole time.
Fucking took away.
It was a very low pass, but
it was a catch.
I don't know. I honestly don't know my initial honest opinion on it. Like, obviously, I was rooting for the refs to rule it an incompletion, and I was glad they did because I don't like the Steelers. But I will give an honest opinion regardless because that's what I'm looking at. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch that catch.
Yeah, we'll do that another day.
That'll be fun though. Like a short, fucking 5-yarder. Essentially. But okay, let's skip right over this trash offensive line and go right to their defense, where they actually have some big names. Like I said, this defense is going to have to carry them yet again. So
let me jump through my signings real quick. Shouldn't take too long. Angelo Blackson, 2-year contract. I'm not butchering this name. Jeremiah, Attaochu. I don't know. Alec Ogletree, my boy Artie Burns, Desmond Trufant, Deion Bush, Tashawn Gibson. Let's see who else. Tashawn Gibson re-signed. Artie Burns actually re-signed. Everybody else signed a 1-year deal. Kicker and punter. That's how that's going to go.
Damn, okay. Yeah. Right. I'm trying to look at the team defensive stats. They're just really hard to fucking read on ESPN.
Oh, here, I got you. It says defense right here.
Yards long. Okay. They, as a team, they had 35 total sacks and sacked their opponents for a total loss of 234 yards. 35 is not an awfully high amount of sacks. It's a decent number, but it's not anywhere that's a defense that's going to win you Super Bowls or anything. Only 10 interceptions. So that the turnover rate isn't that good either.
71 pass deflections, though. I mean, we can't really skip that over.
Oh, okay. Nice. I didn't see that.
Right next to your interceptions on the left.
Nope. You must be on a different site.
Oh, I'm on ESPN.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah. It just says PD. I just know what that means.
Nope, don't see it. Must be on a different page. I'm telling you. ESPN's crazy trying to surf through and stuff. It's you'll have a different opinion on what you just researched every time you go to ESPN. I guarantee it. Every time. 15 forced fumbles.
Sorry, excuse me. And 8 fumble recoveries.
They did 11 rushing touchdowns. So on the ground, that's actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Passing touchdowns isn't the greatest either. But, I mean, with how many great quarterbacks are in the league right now and how pass-heavy this league has become, it's almost hard to avoid any of those. Like, you're going to have over 25. I want to know the teams that have less than 25 pass touchdowns, to be honest. But another side note, it's another.
Yeah, like I could name one. Jets. Jaguars. All the shit teams. Yeah.
No, I mean getting scored on wise. Like their defense.
Oh. Only gave up.
Yeah, and their defense gave up 28 pass touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like under 25 pass touchdowns alone are, I would say, really well. You got to think most dominant quarterbacks are going to come in and shred you up for 3 to 4 touchdowns every game. You're playing 5 to 6 dominant quarterbacks every year. That alone. But okay, that's just
That's enough. That's enough about the Bears. Let's get out of here.
But no, defensive end, the Bears have Akeem Nicks, Eddie Goldman, Roquan Smith. Obviously, you can't forget the steal Khalil Mack from the Raiders. Obviously, he's been nothing but gold since he got there. Danny Trevathan, Tashawn Gibson. I'm preferable to him. He's aging and not the greatest, but I loved him over top. I knew I was semi-protected. I wasn't going to be a usual Brown safety that just gets burned all day. And then they got Eddie Jackson. So, I mean, this team, defensive-wise, has always been good. Bears are legendary for their defense, obviously, but not quite the defense they need to get to the playoffs or Super Bowl, but it's the defense that's going to carry them to their only 7-6 wins. And I'm done talking about the Bears. Done.
Right.
I won't talk about them all year again.
Yeah, probably. Who's up? Detroit Lions. This will be an interesting team this year. I don't know if that means it's good or bad, but interesting nonetheless. Obviously, you had the Hallmark trade aside from or the Hallmark news aside from J.J. Watt's news. Jared Goff is now a Lion. He got traded for Matt Stafford. They also signed some dude named Tim Boyle. Never heard of him before. Signed a 1 year, $2.5 million contract. And I forgot to click this. But if they just signed him, who was Boyle sitting behind? Oh no, it was David Blau. That's who was second behind Stafford, I believe.
Oh yeah, he is garbage too, but yeah, hopefully Jared Goff stays healthy. He's not the greatest quarterback, but he had nearly 4,000 yards and a 20-13 interception ratio, which isn't the greatest. But also, the Rams weren't the greatest passing team, and I contribute that a lot to Goff, to be honest. The coaching for the Rams were really well. I'm stupidly stumping on his name.
Kingsbury?
No, Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury's with Arizona.
What the fuck is his name? I know. I'm trying to talk through his name.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
I just another young dude. I don't remember his name.
It was all in front of us, but I'm too egotistic to even ask it. But regardless, I put a lot of that on Jared Goff regardless, but he didn't nearly have 4,000 yards, nothing to scoff at. The 20-13 interception ratio is the only thing that's going to be scary. And the other scary thing is going in with this receiving core.
Sean McVay,
thank you. Jeez. Yeah. Yes. Shouts to Sean McVay, because Jared Goff kind of looked like a Sean McVay follower.
Shouts to Sean McVay if you're listening.
Yeah. Listening, dude. I'm guessing you took some terrible life choices.
But you working at like a Burger King now or something?
Watch way too much YouTube. Deep enough to find us.
No, you're trying to get all the information. Not as much as you can. He wants all the football information. Doesn't matter where it's coming from. Give it to him all.
No matter how unintelligent it sounds or anything. He wants it all. But yeah, Jared Goff, I thought was Sean McVay's like little project or whatever, but apparently not. He's like, nope, get the fuck out of there. Give me the old guy who's about to retire in 3 years that still puts up 4,000 yards consistently.
Yep.
But let's move on. At running back, they have DeAndre Swift, who was obviously drafted in 2020, round 2 out of Georgia. Did really well last year. Actually, let me look at his stats.
521 yards.
Yeah. And when I say really well, they still had Adrian Peterson on this roster
Yeah.
that played all 16 games. So it was kind of like a timeshare. But with his little 114 attempts that he had, he did manage to pull out a 4.6 average, which is pretty damn good for a rookie. And he scored 8 touchdowns, which was one more than Adrian Peterson. So he's obviously going to be the lead back coming into it this year. Ooh, I didn't get to check his receptions. Reception-wise, DeAndre Swift also caught 46 passes for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's going to be in the passing game.
46 of 57.
So
that percentage is insane.
He was going to fucking catch it.
I wish they would give you a percentage because I don't know how to. I'm too dumb to know how to do that in my head.
How to do it? You just divide the top by the bottom. What do you mean?
I don't even have a calculator.
It'd be 57.
Yeah. Notice I said in my head.
Yeah. Oh, no. Hell no. I'm not doing that in my head.
Yeah. But anyway.
I'd have to take a minute.
Pretty much if you wanted a reception, and by the way, on his receiving, he averaged almost 8 yards. If you wanted a reception and 8 yards, almost every time he got it.
Yeah. You could just
give him the ball. He'll give you another first down.
Love it. But behind him, they have Jamal Williams and Jamar Jefferson. How do you think his first name is pronounced?
Jamar.
Jamar? You think so?
Probably. I don't know.
Jermar.
I doubt it.
People with these good names don't have any creativity.
Yeah, Cody.
But I'm saying. As you say my name, you know I'm a white American. I want a name that has you guessing throughout all the races, all the religions.
But yeah, Jamal Williams, like you mentioned him before, signed a 2-year deal, $7.5 million. That's the only running back signing. Let's just go ahead and jump ahead to the wide receivers. Signing-wise, Rashad Perriman, 1-year, $3 million contract. Tyrell Williams, 1-year, $4.7 million. And that's it. That's it for receivers anyway.
Yeah, and they completely gutted this receiving core too, because other than like their tight end TJ Hawkinson, nobody that was starting is going to get any burn. Like last year, they had Danny Amendola, Marvin Jones Jr., Kenny Galladay, Marvin Hall. Like none of those people are here. They had Mohamed Sanu for a little bit. They're not here. So completely gutted wide receiver, replaced with people who should be number 2s on most teams or 3s. And their tight end, TJ Hawkinson, who TJ Hawkinson, see him, had 67 receptions for 723 yards and 6 touchdowns. Oh, and the only other guy who stayed on the team receiver-wise that didn't get gutted is Quintez Cephas. That's a name I'm guessing. That's a name. I have no idea where this dude's from, what he looks like.
It's probably Quintez Cephas.
Quintez Cephas? Yeah.
I would assume so.
Sounds fancier than how I pronounced it.
You just got to sound confident.
I'm skilled with that. Not when it comes to reading.
He can't even read.
So he was the only one that didn't get gutted, and he only had 20 receptions for 349 yards. So he was a down the field type of guy, got 17 yards per catch, but he's number 3 on the list and has no repertoire with Jared Goff nor any of these other receivers with Goff. Goff's in a completely new system behind completely new line. It's just this Detroit Lions is just going to be a disaster, and for their sake, I hope they lean on DeAndre Swift.
They're going to have to. I'm going to jump over to my signings, and then we'll talk about this defense real quick. We got about 20 minutes, 2 teams left. I know, right? You mentioned Hawkinson. They also signed Darren Fells. It just says he's signing a contract with the Lions. That's all the information I got. Oh, and their other tight end, Josh Hill. Terms of contract have not been disclosed. So you can get literally everybody else's information from every part of the league, but you can't get this guy's. Like, you're not asking for his birth certificate.
Yeah, no shit.
You probably have it.
I can find it on Google somewhere. Yeah.
But obviously, we're not going to jump into the offense. We know
we're going to jump into the offense we're going to dip a toe and then jump right back out real fast. Pronounce that right guard's name real fast.
Oh, hold on. Let me get to it. Right guard. Yeah. Yo, I don't even.
Out of respect for
Alapulivati.
I'm not even going to try.
I would like to know, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, give me that little button that you click.
That pronounces it.
Where the computer says it for you. That's what I want to do.
Like, hey, Siri, how do you say that shit? All right, now we're getting into the defense. Let's get into this damn defense.
That was your dipping the toe in?
Yeah, that was just a toe.
All right, bunch of signings on defense. Charles Harris, Romeo Aquara, 3-year, $39 million. Tackle Michael Brockers, he came over in a trade. Linebacker Alex Anzalone, cornerback Quentin Dunbar signed a 1-year deal. Roby Coleman signed as a free agent. Signed a free agent contract. Dean Marlowe. These guys just have no information on the Lions at all. Dean Marlowe signed a contract with the Lions.
All right, good.
Kicker thing. Randy Bullock signed a contract with the Lions. Like that's just unbelievable to me. Like, let us know.
Right. All right, real fast, I'm going to just name some names here that I like on this defense. This defense is the brightest part of this team. We got Michael Brockers. Corey already mentioned Romeo Aquara. Jamie Collins was their lead tackle last year with 101. They got Trey Flowers, Will Harris, Tracy Walker, Jeff Okuda, which I love Okuda. Obviously, I'm going to. That's just a couple names out of their good defense who did great last year, bereft of turnovers, but they did good. Again, they're going to have to lean on this defense again to even scrounge for third place in this division. So let's go ahead and move on and talk about the best team in this division, which is the Green Bay Packers. And I don't recommend we spend a lot of time on this team because 90% of the people out there already know what this team looks like because they're so good and it's already been talked about by everyone on the internet.
And they've been in the news.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, everyone's been going over the Green Bay Packers. Everyone.
All right, I'm going to read through all my signings here for everybody. Yeah.
Fire them off, Machine Gun Kelly style.
QB Ken Benkert, he'll never see the field. Obviously, running back Aaron Jones signed because Aaron Rodgers stayed. Reunited with Randall Cobb. He was acquired in a trade from the Texans. Texans ain't going to have a team to fucking put on the field. Mercedes Lewis re-signed a 2-year, $8 million. Tackle Dennis Kelly signed a deal with the Packers. Tyler Lancaster re-signed a deal with the Packers. Devontae Campbell, Kevin King, and Will Redmond. That's unique. Redmond all re-signed a deal with the Packers. That's all of them. Everybody just re-signed with the Packers. That's what their little page should have said.
Follow suit from QB Aaron Rodgers, okay?
Yeah.
And the only thing I really want to add is I challenge anyone to find me a better current just three QB running back wide receiver. Don't go deeper than one wide receiver. Don't bring me a QB with 2 wide receivers, a QB with 2 running backs. I want 1 QB, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and name me a better trio than what's on this team.
I mean, I think it's going to be impossible to find all 3.
Yeah, and then an
Obviously.
insanely, probably one of the best receivers in the league, speaking on consistency and how high that level of consistency is currently in the league. Davante Adams is the best out there. But then you got your other 2 rockets that Aaron Rodgers likes throwing to when he's not targeting Davante Adams 16 times a game, Alan Lazard and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and I'm sure Robert Tonyan, the tight end. They will all vulture a couple touchdowns from Davante Adams because, I mean, Davante Adams can't be out there every single play of the game. And 90% of the time, he's probably going to put someone up over top or even double. That's what the greatest get, right? All right. Again, skipping over this offensive line, going straight to the defense. Don't really know who he is, but I'm going to say his name because I like it. I'm talking Dean Lowry, boy. Dean Lowry.
Mike Lowry.
Darius Smith. Corner, Jair Alexander, Adrian Amos, a safety, Darnell Savage, and as much as I don't like Kevin King, I like the gap that comes in between his 2 teeth. But
what the fuck?
Have you ever seen Kevin King? I love it, dude. I love it. There's something about gap tooth people that they entertain me. They're more entertaining than most. He's not a good corner, but he entertains me when he talks. I love it. I think it's Brandon. That's an inner Brandon.
Yeah.
Player. Shout out Brandon if you watch these still.
He does.
That was the Green Bay Packers. How much time we got left? Let's go ahead and move on to Minnesota.
10 minutes.
Let's get it. Fire off.
We'll keep the same thing. Running back Amir Abdallah, wide receiver Chad Beebe, Dede Westbrook. Offense Mason Cole, Dakota Dozier, not Dozier. Dozier. Rashad Hill. Defense Stephen Weatherly, Sheldon Richardson, Dalvin Tomlinson, linebacker Nick Virgil, Mackenzie Alexander, Rashad Breeland came from KC out here. What a fucking, you might as well go back, bro. Patrick Peterson, you might as well too. Xavier, what are y'all doing? Those last 3, I love all of them. I like the way they play. Just move on. You're wasting your time in Minnesota, honestly. Anyway.
As much as Minnesota hasn't really won much of anything except for the rights to get into the playoffs, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, they've been a good team to watch, and I'm sure if you're a fan, you're cussing at me right now. But I do like this team, and we were just talking about 3 people, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, 1 from each. Kirk Cousins isn't nearly the man Aaron Rodgers was, but Kirk Cousins still put up 4,000 yards with 35 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. That's pretty damn good coming from Kirk. And then you go down to running back, you have Dalvin Cook, who had 1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns. And then you go to the running back with Justin Jefferson, who had 88 receptions, 125 targets, 1,400 yards as a rookie, 7 touchdowns. Throw the ball, Kirk! And behind him, you got Adam Thielen, obviously. But those 3 right off rip, you can even put Adam Thielen in there as a number 1. He did amazing. Like, this team for Minnesota is really, really good. Adam Thielen real fast had 925 yards, 14 touchdowns, just targeted a lot more in the end zone. Justin Jefferson's an insanely young guy. I like this Vikings team. Like, the offense is really well put. Kirk Cousins probably the bad spot on this offense, to be honest. As much as Kirk puts up stats, he doesn't have the name that a lot of other quarterback has. And then you got Dalvin Cook, I already mentioned his stats, and you got Alexander Mattison, who loves filling in and does good in his product, brings productivity when he does get there. Amir Abdullah, who has been a career backup for now, but we'll see. I already talked about Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. At third, they got Chad Beebe, whoever that is, tight end, they got Irv Smith Jr., who I want to say was a rookie last year. No, this will be his third year in the league, so I knew he was insanely young. But he's been doing really well, so I think they're going to lean on him in the passing game more as well. Let me go down to his stats. Irv Smith Jr. played 13 games. He only had 30 catches for 365 yards and 5 touchdowns, but scarce as good tight ends come in this league. Beggars can't be choosers is all I'm saying. You got anything to mention before we skip right over this offensive line?
No, I want to talk about the defense though.
All right, you go ahead and get in the defense. I rambled enough on the offense.
Yeah. Only 23 sacks came from this defense last year. I think you said Kirk was the bad spot. I think their defense is.
I said on the offense.
Oh, okay. I think their offense can do it. I think their offense can make a deep playoff run. Their defense just can't. They can't sack up enough. They can't get to the quarterback. Let's see here. How many tackles for loss did they have? Only 62 and a half miles behind. Who'd we just talk about? Green Bay. Let's see. Pass deflections, only 56. So, I mean, they're not even putting their hands up because they're too busy fighting guys off.
I think that got better this year with who they acquired as well, personally. But
15 interceptions for only 65 yards? Yeah. No defensive touchdowns. So I mean, 11 forced fumbles and 7 fumble recoveries. So they step up this defense, and I think that even with Kirk Cousins, as much as I don't like him, I think that brings this team back to a low-key Super Bowl contender. That's really all I needed to say about it.
I don't like their defense. Like, I do think this defense is what is lacking in them making, like you said, a deep playoff run, because I think they're miles away from a Super Bowl. Super Bowl contenders need good defenses, obviously. They got Nick Vigil, Anthony Barr, Harrison Smith, Xavier Woods, and now Patrick Peterson. And who did they get? You said Xavier Woods this year? Or did they have him?
Xavier Woods signed a 1-year deal. That's all it says.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So their coverage is going to instantly get better just off Xavier Woods being paired up in the back with Harrison Smith, who I love Harrison Smith. He's a very talented guy. Rashad Breeland in a corner, and then Patrick Peterson as well. So that on paper, that sounds like a great.
So that'll help with your pass deflections and
now
obviously interceptions.
Can you pressure?
But get to the quarterback. That's where most people screw up. They can't think on a dime. You know, once you're out of the pocket and running for your life, that's all it is. They don't look downfield. They just run, and that's how you get your quarterback to. You get those 2-3 yard plays. Like, you got to be able to pressure the quarterback, or he's going to sit in the pocket all day.
Or they're going to sit back and do exactly what they plan to do. Pressuring the quarterback is exactly what it's meant to do, is pressure the quarterback into making the right play before he's supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, pressure. But you put pressure on enough stuff, it breaks.
Especially this stuff I buy.
That was NFC North. I know we focused a lot on the shitty teams of the NFC North, but I felt like that was better. I feel like a lot of people already know a lot of the Green Bay and Minnesota rosters. Not too many people knew about the Bears or what was different about the Bears, or the Lions and what was different about the Lions. I felt both of those two teams are in for a fucking whirlwind of a season, because they're going to be all over the fucking place, where I think Green Bay and Minnesota are both going to get over 9 wins. And that's not saying a lot, but I'm saying that for now until we get into the schedule. They're both getting over 9 wins. The other two teams are going to be low, like under 5.
Yeah. All right.
Are you eating?
Sorry, that was ice. It came out of my cup.
Fucking ASMR channel or something.
All right. I'm pretty good with this one. You can go ahead and wrap it up.
All right. Let's get it.
Closing
time. No, I'm kidding. I don't. But
it's a good song, though.
it's closing time. We're done with this fucking video. We got one more division coming at you. That is the NFC South. I'm Cody. That was Corey. As usual, the names won't change. We'll let you know if they do. But we're ballers on a budget. Be sure to follow us. Be sure to like and subscribe. All the links to our social medias are in the description.